Hello students and welcome to the first video lecture of this channel. Today we will be discussing about a technique which is ELISA. This ELISA is one of the commonly used techniques in biochemistry laboratory by which we can estimate various hormones, proteins, various markers or various infectious disease markers which can be estimated by ELISA technique. Now you see there are various variations of ELISA which have been developed, and all these different variations of ELISA, it allows qualitative and quantitative detection of either antigen or antibody. Okay, so the main motive of this ELISA is either you are detecting any qualitative detection or a quantitative measurement of either antigen or antibody. Okay, so if you see the this full form of this ELISA, it is better known as enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. Now the name of this technique, which is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, it itself demonstrates different things. Firstly, it is enzyme linked, it is an immunotechnique, and it is a sorbent assay. Okay, why is it known as enzyme linked? We will see it later. Immuno, wherever the word immuno comes, it means it has to deal with either antigen or a antibody. Okay, sorbent means कि either antigen or antibody is adsorbed onto a solid surface. In ELISA, actually we use ELISA plate, 96 well ELISA plate. Uh, uh, we, those plates are actually impregnated with either, or you can say adsorbed with either antigen or antibody, or assay means any technique. Okay, so the name itself defines ki what is ELISA. Okay, so if you see different types of ELISA, if you see the types of ELISA, it could be either an indirect ELISA, it could be sandwich ELISA, or it could be a competitive ELISA. Now all the types of ELISA, which type of ELISA you have to use, it would depend upon the marker or the molecule which you are identifying. It would depend on which marker you are going to identify, and for that particular marker you will use which type of ELISA. It could be a indirect ELISA, sandwich ELISA, or competitive ELISA, depending upon the marker which you are identifying. If you are identifying an antibody, you would use a different technique. If you are identifying an antigen, you would use a different technique. Okay, so first let's start with the indirect ELISA. If you see, if I talk about indirect ELISA, now in type of indirect ELISA, you can actually detect an antibody with indirect ELISA. Okay, so you are detecting antibody with the help of indirect ELISA. To proceed with indirect ELISA, actually in indirect ELISA, the ELISA plate which you use, which consists of 96 well plates, it is actually a ELISA plate is actually a 96 well plate containing 96 wells. Okay, it looks something like this. Now, and in indirect ELISA, these plates are adsorbed with antigens. Okay, suppose if I take this well, if I take this well and I zoom this well, and it would look like this. So this is a single well, which is, in this single well, different antigens are adsorbed in this well. Okay, it is a well which is adsorbed with antigens. Okay, now as I have said, in indirect ELISA you are detecting antibody, you are detecting a antibody molecule. So this ELISA well, or this well, is adsorbed with a particular antigen for which you are identifying a particular antibody. So in this well, obviously if you are detecting something, you would add a patient sample. So if you add a patient's serum sample, this patient's serum sample obviously contains the antibody which you have to identify. So what would happen? This ELISA well, which is containing antigens, okay, now when you add the patient sample which is containing the primary antibody, it will come and it will bind with this antigen, making an antigen antibody reaction. Okay, after adding the sample, you have to add a secondary antibody. You have to add a secondary antibody, which is better known as conjugate, or secondary antibody. Because primary antibody, where did you get the primary antibody from the patient sample itself. Okay, after adding the patient sample, you have to add a secondary antibody, which is also known as conjugate. Okay, so in the next step, you will see the antigens, the primary antibody. Now this conjugate or the secondary antibody, it will come and it will bind to this primary antibody molecule. Now this difference between secondary antibody and primary antibody is that secondary antibody contains a tail group which is linked with an enzyme. That is why the ELISA is known as enzyme linked, because the secondary antibody which you are using, it is linked to an enzyme. It is enzyme linked, which is a secondary antibody. It is a immunosorbent. Immuno by means antigen or antibody. Sorbent means this antigen or antibody is adsorbed onto a solid surface. Okay. So after addition of this conjugate or the secondary antibody, what you have to do, you have to incubate it for a certain period of time. For different tests, for estimation of different hormones or different markers, the incubation period is different. So you have to, after addition of secondary antibody, you have to incubate this incubate the well containing the sample. Okay, after addition of conjugate, you have to add a substrate molecule. What is the function of this substrate? This substrate molecule, it would be look like this. It is somehow looking like this. This is the enzyme. Now after certain time period of incubation, when you are adding a substrate, this substrate will react with this enzyme which is linked. This substrate will react with this enzyme, and after when the substrate reacts with enzyme, it produces a particular color. It produces a particular color. Okay. It produces certain amount of color. Now the production of this color would depend, this production of color would depend upon the amount of antibody which is present in the sample, amount of this antibody which is present in the serum sample. More the antibody load, more would be the color. Okay, so now in every step you have to also wash the well, you have to wash it. Why we are washing the well? So that the unbound antibody or the antigen would be washed away, and the unbound, so that if it is not washed away, then it might give a false result, because those are actually not bound, but it might give color with the substrate. So to prevent that, we have to wash the wells after addition of sample, after addition of conjugate and to, so that the unbound antigen and antibody won't be able to form color with the substrate. So finally you get a color which is directly proportional to the concentration. Means in indirect ELISA, the concentration would be directly proportional to the color. Okay, so more the concentration of the antibody in the sample, more would be the color. So the amount of colored reaction product that forms is measured by spectrophotometric plate readers. Okay, so after this color has been formed, this well is put to the spectrophotometric machine. It is actually similar to colorimetry. We use spectrophotometric machine in which we place the ELISA plate. After placing the ELISA plate, you actually get different colors, and this color can be concentration of the any marker can be measured depending upon the color which is produced. Okay, so this forms the basis of indirect ELISA. Okay, clear? So in next lecture we will be discussing about sandwich ELISA and competitive ELISA. That's all for this lecture. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.